you choose, we'll get the meeting started.
All right, it's 2:30. We'll call the Quorum Court meeting to session Thursday, April 2nd, 2020 at Burdette. You call the roll, please.
Justice Ash,
Here.
Justice Belcher, Justice Byrd,
Here.
Justice Clay,
Here.
Justice Fleeman, Justice Hinton,
Here.
Justice Hempler,
Here.
Justice Jackson,
Here.
Justice Nelson,
Here.
Justice Norwell,
Here.
Justice White.
Here.
Justice Norwell, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice Byrd, would you give our invitation?
I will. Thank you, Judge. Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Father, thanking you for this beautiful day. It reminds us, Heavenly Father, of who you are, the creator of all and the sustainer of all. We come to you today, Father, with heavy hearts for our nation and for our world. We come to you, Heavenly Father, asking that you will be mindful of our circumstances. We pray that you will watch over the medical people who are working on this problem throughout the world. We pray that you'll be with our leaders, local leaders and our state leaders, nation and the world, as they go about administering and taking care of the people that are involved, Father. We pray, Father, as we come together to conduct your business, that you will guide us, lead us in a way that will always be helpful, that we will do the right thing in your eyes, and that we would do what's right for our community, Heavenly Father. Again, we praise you and we thank you. We always are mindful, Father, that you are in charge, and let us never forget that. For I ask in Christ's name, amen.
Thank you, Mr. Byrd. Next on the agenda is the reading and approval of minutes.
Judge, I'll make a motion we dispense with the reading of the minutes since we've all been provided with a copy.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We do not have Katie here, she's on a conference call, so we're going to move past the treasurer reports. First committee, meeting, the report is the Finance Committee for 3/16, Justice White.
Yes, sir, and I'll be brief in the spirit of the meeting. We just touched on everybody in the county being within their budget and how well they were doing with their spending. We talked a little bit about the landfill and the fact that we'd spent $500,000 so far in the $2 million new cell project. In economic development, Mr. Chitwood had requested that we move $32,500 out of the rent line over into the project line. Justice Nelson stated there was not a problem with the request, and we moved forward. In the Sheriff's Department, we discussed the fact that they had purchased a drone, and I think they gave us a little justification for what they were going to use that drone for. Cost of the drone was $4,621.90. In the Finance Department, Kelly brought to us the Family Medical Leave and COBRA. The company that's handling our Medicare, Social Security type payments is CAS, and they have offered to handle our Family Medical Leave and COBRA programs if we would care for them to. And we asked her, the motion passed to move forward with that project. Then we talked about Performance Health, our county employee insurance program from 2019. And we've since had an insurance meeting since this Finance Committee meeting. But we have many employees that have outstanding medical insurance bills that are going unpaid, going all the way back to September of 2019. We are pretty confident that the totality of these bills goes into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Performance Health was kind of our third-party administrator in taking the pool of money that the county had put together with their insurance premiums and paying our insurance claims. Then when that pool of money paid out and went zero, it fell to the secondary stop-loss insuring company, Gerber. and Gerber has so far been refusing to pay any of our claims. We've since found out that those claims are not only related to just Mississippi County, but there are 9 other counties involved. And there's an insurance committee meeting that Justice Nelson will probably talk to, but I'm hoping that we're going to join with these other 9 counties in a federal lawsuit that's taking place in Cincinnati. We've turned that over to our local counselor, Mr. Thomas. Our county treasurer talked for just a second about the new apprentice system that many of the offices in the Blytheville and Osceola courthouses are moving to, the communications that it's going to enhance, and the new server that we're going to need to serve those different offices. The total bill for the new server will be $44,000, and Susan McCormick, our county collector, offered to pay that $44,000 out of her automation fund if the money's available in there. Then we did have that little issue that we discussed a second ago in the personnel committee meeting about mileage with the circuit clerk's office, and that got resolved just a few minutes ago. Then Judge Nelson stated that we ranked number 20 in the state of Arkansas for transparency with, I think, primarily our website and internet interconnectivity. And that was the bulk of our Finance Committee meeting.
Any questions for Justice White? We'll move on to Justice Nelson, who I believe will have a P&D and Insurance Committee report.
Thank you, Judge. I hate to have my back to the court, so we stand about halfway here. Cliff did contact me and asked me to have a Planning and Development Committee meeting. He had some companies that he had talked with, and he needed to appropriate some money. The first one, somebody get the machine gun? The first one is ADEC. He wants to change the wording in it, and there is a resolution to change the wording. He wants it to say with people, instead of retail, he wants it to say people that support manufacturing. It's a small change, but he thinks it will help. And number 2 is EPMS, is Rick Ellis, who has the barge unloading facility on the river. Mr. Ellis has agreed to sign a contract with us for 50 jobs, $18 to $21 an hour. That will be $600,000, an average of $12,000 annually per job. That is also in your package, and Judge, I want to remind the court that there was not a quorum at the Economic Development Committee. None of these have been vetted. So when we approve these today or not approve them, they will be coming to the court for the first time without the Economic Development Committee's endorsement. Number 3, Glencore, which is the Blue Oak Company. Blue Oak has requested and have said that they would do 55 jobs at $17 to $21 an hour. They are a metal, they get fine metals, machine them, clean them up, do something, but these metals come from China. $17 to $21 an hour, and most of the money, they said, will be used for machinery, and that's $660,000. Also, we had a report from ANC on their workforce training. So far, they've had 744 participants. 65% have gone to work. That's pretty good. Doug Eccles was there. Michael Smith was there. And he has asked us to put an additional $200,000 into the Workforce Training Fund. The Workforce Training Fund, 25% of the cost is borne by economic development. In some cases, if the ADEC in Little Rock approves the job rating, they will put in anywhere from 25 to 50%. The college will put in 35%. If the state does not contribute anything to it, then the county pays 25% and the employer will be billed for 50% and the college 25%. Please don't ask me to go over those percentages. Number 5, A&C wants to hire an additional worker to work in the workforce program. A&C will put in $35,000, and they're asking the county to put in $25,000. This will be for 1 year. It's going to be a good job for somebody, but they're going to have experience or need experience or the attitude to work with Cliff and Tamika on industrial training. We were awarded, or Cliff was awarded, the Big Muddy Trophy, and we have that in our annex room. The Big Muddy Trophy came to us because Mississippi County had more industrial starts than any other county in the state. That's it, Judge, unless someone has some questions.
Any questions for Justice Nelson? Thank you, Justice. We'll move on to Justice Ash. Do you have some committee reports for us today?
Yes, sir. We had a police and fire committee meeting that was mainly to look at the settlement of the lawsuit involving some of the jailers and deputies where they had sued us over some overtime. We voted to move that to finance for an appropriation to cover that settlement amount. We should have another, I don't know if that'll come back to police and fire, probably just go directly to finance, settling the amount that we would have to pay the lawyers once that is ironed out in court. And that was the extent of our business there, other than the fact that we did discuss that we need to look at some way of tracking time better. In the sheriff's office situation, and since the sheriff and Morgan are on the line, they can chime in on this if they need to, but we're looking at recommending to them that they put a log in the car so that each deputy would log in when they get into the car, and then they can have their GPS also in their radio log when they check 10A. All three of those should match, and then they can turn that in every 2 weeks for a timesheet, so to speak. Or they can look at going to some type of time clock situation, but they also need to do that at the jail so that their jailers and their office personnel clock in. That'll have to be worked out between the jailer and the finance department, or the sheriff and the finance department. And that's the extent of our meeting on that. Do you want me to go right into personnel, or does someone have a question?
Any questions for Justice Ash? Please proceed.
Okay, we had a personnel committee meeting today. Part of what came out of this lawsuit was that people have been doing their timesheets on Wednesday before the pay period ends on Saturday. And that means that they have to go back and make adjustments where could be paying people for time that they put in that they work, but for some reason have had to call in sick or some other reason. So we have decided that there will be an ordinance at our next meeting moving the payday from Tuesday to Friday. This will happen in the paycheck that would normally count out on June 16th. It will be moved to June 19th. It will be a full paycheck. There will not be any half paychecks. There won't be any cuts in it. The only difference is now they fill out their timesheets on Monday. They'll have to be turned into finance on Tuesday. Wednesday, they will produce the payroll, and it will be in the accounts on Friday, or the checks will be out on Friday. It's a simple, making sure that we don't have problems of people having to remember to go back and adjust time if they change. This way, it's completed, nothing changes, and everything is done. We wanted to give them enough notice that if they have to change any bank drafts, they can do so. That should give them right at 2 months to get this taken care of. We will be asking finance to notify everyone with a letter telling them this in advance so that everybody knows. We did clear up the mileage issue. This is still the Blythe Courthouse. Even though it is located in Burdette, Arkansas, it is the Blythe Courthouse. So any offices that are still located in Blythe are considered a part of this system. This will not be paid travel. If they have to travel to Osceola, that's a different situation. But that was agreed upon by the Personnel Committee, and that's the way we will proceed. And I'll take any questions.
Any questions for Justice Sires?
Like I
Thank
said,
you, Justice Sires. We have here under new business, Justice Nelson. Cindy, could you help guide me on this?
Yes, sir, I wasn't sure how Justice Nelson wanted me to put it in, but he has already told you about, he's already presented those.
All right.
And if it's okay with the court, those ordinances are in the back of the package to
Okay.
be approved to the court, so you can just go on to, the
Judge,
resolution. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, if we could ask the clerk to read the resolution that we have, then I would explain what the other resolution attached to it is for.
Will you read the resolution?
Resolution number R 2020-4, a resolution defining the scope of work to be undertaken by Great River Economic Development Foundation, Incorporated, in its capacity as economic developer for Mississippi County, Arkansas. Whereas Great River Economic Development Foundation, Incorporated, an Arkansas nonprofit corporation, currently serves as economic developer for Mississippi County, Arkansas. Whereas the Mississippi County Quorum Court previously defined GREDF role as economic developer for Mississippi County by resolution number R 2016-7, and whereas the Quorum Court wishes to amend GREDF's role as economic developer for Mississippi County, now therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that the Mississippi County Quorum Court instructs Great River Economic Development Foundation, Incorporated, in its capacity as economic developer for Mississippi County to, 1, work those projects which are defined as eligible businesses by the rules and regulations of the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, and 2, work those projects which are closely related with local manufacturers, i.e. companies which act in close support of manufacturers by performing functions which would otherwise have to be performed by the manufacturer. Resolution number R 2016-7 is hereby amended where it conflicts with this resolution.
Move for adoption.
Is there a
Second.
Is there discussion?
Judge, there was a resolution passed under Judge Carney that basically said that the county required the economic developer with Mr. Chipwood to work with eligible businesses only approved by the AEDC's rules and regulations. Number 2 amends that where we can work with businesses that do not manufacture anything, like Mr. Ellis's business on the river, but he supports manufacturers by unloading metals and things of that sort that the manufacturing business has to have. So that's a substantial business and brings substantial income to the county. And we think that this would be a good investment and that it would not hurt the fund, but would improve the situation that we're trying to do. So I'm requesting the court to approve it. As I mentioned earlier, the Economic Development Committee did not have a quorum, it did not approve it. So to pass this would be the same thing as us approving it.
Any further discussion? Call the roll. Mr. Curry?
Justice Ash?
Yes.
Justice Byrd?
Yes.
Justice Clay?
Yes.
Justice Hinton?
Yes.
Justice Hilker?
Yes.
Justice Jackson?
Yes.
Justice Nelson?
Yes.
Justice Norval?
Yes.
Justice White?
Yes.
Just passed resolution number R 2020-. We'll move on to the next item, which is ordinance.
Yes, Judge, we have an appropriation ordinance involving the cleanup budget for 2019. Would ask the clerk to read the ordinance, please.
Can you read the ordinance, Mr. Curry?
Appropriation ordinance number O-2020-11. An ordinance providing supplemental appropriations for the operation of Mississippi County government, including increases and/or changes in appropriations for certain departments of county government for the calendar and fiscal year of 2019 and for other purposes. Whereas it is necessary that certain adjustments be made regarding revenues and appropriations of county funds for the operation of Mississippi County government during the calendar fiscal year of 2019, with original appropriations in some instances to be modified to cover expenses for the county government during the year 2019. Whereas the needed changes in appropriations have been set forth and scheduled in a schedule dated and signed by the appropriate officers and employees of Mississippi County government and filed in the office of the county court clerk, as required by law. Whereas the Quorum Court is authorized by law to alter, amend, and change the original appropriations made for the operation of county government during the calendar year of 2019 to provide final appropriations, and whereas the final appropriation for specific offices and agencies of county government require changes and adjustments between the several offices and its agencies. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that 1, the 2019 budget for the operation of certain offices and departments of Mississippi County government be and hereby are revised, amended as provided in the revised 2019 budget attached hereto as an exhibit and incorporated herein by reference. 2, all appropriations previously authorized, approved, and made as to all other offices, departments, and agencies of county government, and all other funds not hereinabove changed are to remain as previously appropriated. Detailed provisions of said appropriations are reflected in the schedule of specific items listed by account numbers within the category for each office and filed in the office of the county court clerk. 3, if any provision of the ordinance is held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions. This ordinance is hereby declared to be severable for such purposes. 4, this ordinance being an appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval by the county judge.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Judge, this is just the normal course of business. You know, we're required by state law to have a balanced budget. We call this our cleanup budget. We normally do it in our normal monthly March meeting, though this is April 2nd. This is our normal monthly March meeting. And that you can see with the attachment the additions or the subtractions that were necessary to balance this budget out.
Any further discussion? Mr. Curry, will you call the roll?
Justice Ash?
Yes.
Justice Byrd?
Yes.
Justice Clay?
Yes.
Justice Hinton?
Yes.
Justice Hilker?
Yes.
Justice Jackson?
Yes.
Justice Nelson?
Yes.
Justice Norval?
Yes.
Justice White?
Yes.
We just passed appropriation ordinance number
2020-11.
-11. Next on the agenda is an appropriation ordinance.
Yes, we have another appropriation ordinance. It is regarding economic development, and Mr. Nelson may have some discussion after it, but if the clerk would read the ordinance.
Appropriation ordinance number O 2020-12. An ordinance authorizing and modifying appropriations for the funding of a certain economic development project and for other purposes. Whereas the following economic development project is in need of funding from Mississippi County, Arkansas, Mr. Davis's Pickles commitment. Whereas it is necessary to move funds from the Mr. Davis Pickles rent line to Mr. Davis Pickles commitment line, and to provide such funds, and to provide said funds. Whereas the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas has reviewed the needed funding and has approved same. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that one, the following appropriations modifications are hereby made for the 2020 budget. Account number 3414.0160.3070 for Mr. Davis's Pickles rent in the amount of $28,000. Account number 3414.0160.3999 for Mr. Davis's Pickles commitment in the amount of $28,000. 2, all appropriations previously authorized, approved, and made as to all other offices, departments, and agencies of county government, and all other funds not hereinabove changed are to remain as previously appropriated. Detailed provisions of said appropriations are reflected in the schedule of specific items listed by account numbers within the category for each office and filed in the office of the county court clerk. 3, this ordinance being an appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval by the county judge.
Move for
For
adoption.
adoption.
Second.
Second.
Judge, this is money that was in the rent. We had too much in the rent because we didn't have a budget for this particular job, so there was like $28,000 more than we're going to need to pay through the end of this year, which is the duration of the rent. So we're going to move this in the commitment line where we can pay utilities, light, water, whatever else that he may need until the commitment is consumed. And I ask for adoption, and again, this has not been to the Economic Development Committee for approval.
Any other questions or comments? Mr. Curry, would you call the roll?
Justice Ash,
Yes.
Justice Byrd,
Yes.
Justice Blake,
Yes.
Justice Hinton,
Yes.
Justice Hubler,
Yes.
Justice Jackson,
Yes.
Justice Nelson,
Yes,
Justice Norval,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
Just passed ordinance 2020-12. Next on the agenda is appropriation ordinance.
Yes, sir, we have another appropriation ordinance coming out of finance regarding the consolidated administrative services and the county's family medical leave and COBRA policies. If the clerk would read the appropriation ordinance, please.
Ms. Curry?
Appropriation ordinance number O 2020-13. An ordinance authorizing and modifying appropriations for the operation of the Mississippi County government and for other purposes. Whereas Mississippi County desires to enter into a contract with Consolidated Administrative Services for the administration of the county's administration of FMLA and COBRA services. Whereas the Finance Committee has approved the appropriation of $2,000 to complete the current year's services. Whereas the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas has reviewed the needed funding and has approved same. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that 1, the following appropriations modifications are hereby made for the 2020 budget. Account number 1000.0111.3009 for professional services in the amount of $2,000. 2, all appropriations previously authorized, approved, and made as to all other offices, departments, and agencies of county government, and all other funds not hereinabove changed are to remain as previously appropriated. Detailed provisions of said appropriations are reflected in the schedule of specific items listed by account numbers within the category for each office and filed in the office of the county court clerk. 3, this ordinance being an appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval by the county judge.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Judge, the FMLA and COBRA programs are necessary, very necessary programs to the employees of Mississippi County, and can be quite a burdensome responsibility. CSA has been doing us an excellent job, CAS, excuse me, has been doing us an excellent job so far in the services they've been providing, and we'd like to give them a shot at this.
Any further discussion? Ms. Curry?
Justice Ash,
Yes.
Justice Byrd,
Yes.
Justice Clay,
Yes.
Justice Hinton,
Yes.
Justice Hepler,
Yes.
Justice Jackson,
Yes.
Justice Nelson,
Yes,
Justice Norval,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
Just approve appropriation ordinance O 2020-13. We'll move on to the next appropriation ordinance.
Judge, that comes from economic development.
Ms.
Justice
Curry,
Nelson.
read it, please.
Appropriation ordinance number O 2020-14. An ordinance authorizing modifying appropriations for the funding of a certain economic development project and for other purposes. Whereas the following economic development project is in need of funding from Mississippi County, Arkansas, Ellis Processing and Material Handling Marine LLC project commitment. Whereas the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas has reviewed the needed funding and it has approved same, and whereas the Finance Committee has approved and recommends this funding and appropriation, now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that 1, the following appropriation modifications are hereby made for the 2020 budget. Account number 3414.0162.3999 for Ellis Processing and Material Handling Marine LLC project commitment in the amount of $600,000. Number 2, all appropriations previously authorized and approved and made as to all other offices, departments, and agencies of county government and all other funds not hereinabove changed are to remain as previously appropriated. Detailed provisions of said appropriations are reflected in the in the schedule of specific items listed by account numbers within the category for each office and filed in the office of the county court clerk. 3, this ordinance being an appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval by the county judge.
move for adoption.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Judge, this is Mr. Ellis's unloading port where he unloads scrap, rock, and whatever else to supply manufacturers. This has not been vetted by the Economic Development Committee, but I request that the court approve it. It's 50 employees.
Any further discussion? Ms. Curry, would you call the roll?
Justice Ash,
Yes.
Justice Byrd,
Yes.
Justice Clay,
Yes.
Justice Hinton,
Yes.
Justice Hepler,
Yes.
Justice Jackson,
Yes.
Justice Nelson,
Yes,
Justice Norval,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
This passed the appropriation ordinance O 2020-14. We've got another appropriation ordinance.
yes, the next appropriation ordinance is for Glencoe, which used to be Blue Oak, and ask the clerk to read the ordinance.
Appropriation ordinance number O 2020-15. An ordinance authorizing modifying appropriation for the funding of a certain economic development project and for other purposes. Whereas the following economic development project is in need of funding from Mississippi County, Arkansas, Glencore commitment. Whereas the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas has reviewed the needed funding and has approved same, and whereas the Finance Committee has approved and recommends this funding and appropriation, now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that 1, the following appropriations modifications are hereby made for the 2020 budget. Account number 3414.0163.3999 for Glencore commitment in the amount of $660,000. Number 2, all appropriations previously authorized, approved, and made as to all other offices, departments, and agencies of county government and all other funds not hereby changed are to remain as previously appropriated. Detailed provisions of said appropriations are reflected in the schedule of specific items listed by account numbers within the category for each office and filed in the office of the county court clerk. 3, this ordinance being an appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval by the county judge.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Is there
Judge, this,
discussion?
is in the building where Blue Oak used to be, and Blue Oak, if you remember, took old cell phones, got the silver and other precious metals out of them. They're no longer here, but Glencore is in the building, and they are taking precious metal that's been shipped from China and other places. And as for adoption, it has not been vetted by the economic development.
Any further discussion? Ms. Curry?
Justice Ash,
Yes.
Justice Burge,
Yes.
Justice Clay,
Yes.
Justice Hinton,
Yes.
Justice Kepler,
Yes.
Justice Jackson,
Yes.
Justice Nelson,
Yes,
Justice Norval,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
We'll move on to the next appropriation ordinance.
Judge, this also comes from economic development regarding the work program.
Ms. Curry,
Appropriation ordinance number O-2020-16. An ordinance authorizing modifying appropriations for the funding of certain economic development projects and for other purposes. Whereas the following economic development project is in need of funding from Mississippi County, Arkansas Northeastern College Work Program. Whereas the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas has reviewed the needed funding and has approved same. And whereas the Finance Committee has approved and recommends this funding and appropriation. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that 1, the following appropriations modifications are hereby made for the 2020 budget. Account number 3101 for ANC work program commitment in the amount of $200,000. 2, all appropriations previously authorized, approved, and made as to all other offices, departments, and agencies of county government, and all other funds not hereinabove changed are to remain as previously appropriated. Detailed provisions of said appropriations are reflected in the schedule of specific items listed by account numbers within the category for each office and filed in the office of the county court clerk. 3, this ordinance being an appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval by the county judge.
move for adoption.
Second.
is there discussion?
Judge, this is $200,000 that we routinely add to the college's workforce WORK program. It appears to be a good program. 44 to 750 people have been through the program. Apparently it works, no pun intended, and it hasn't been vetted by the workforce development, but I request your approval.
Any further discussion? Ms. Curry, will you call the roll?
Justice Ash,
Yes.
Justice Byrd,
Yes.
Justice Clay,
Yes.
Justice Hinton,
Yes.
Justice Kepler,
Yes.
Justice Jackson,
Yes.
Justice Nelson,
Yes,
Justice Norval,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
We'll move on to the next appropriation ordinance.
I think they're going to add an additional employee, and this would be the economic development part, or the county's part of that, so I ask the clerk to read the roll.
Any votes?
It's bad.
Appropriation ordinance number O-2020-17. An ordinance authorizing modifying appropriations for the Great River Economic Development Foundation Incorporated, employees' expenses and other purposes. Whereas Great River Economic Development Foundation Incorporated has reported that it is in need of funds to assist in the hiring of one new employee who shall serve as the internship coordinator. Whereas Arkansas Northeastern College will pay a portion of said annual salary. Whereas Great River Economic Development Foundation Incorporated wishes to contribute $25,000 towards said annual salary. Whereas the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas has reviewed the need of funding and has approved same. And whereas the Finance Committee has approved and recommends this funding and appropriation. Now therefore be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Mississippi County, Arkansas, that one, the following appropriations modifications are hereby made for the 2020 budget. Account number 3414.0150.3009 for other professional services in the amount of $25,000. Two, all appropriations previously authorized, approved, and made as to all other offices, departments, and agencies of county government, and all other funds not hereinabove changed are to remain as previously appropriated. Detailed provisions of said appropriations are reflected in the schedule of specific items listed by account numbers within the category for each office and filed in the office of the county court clerk. Three, this ordinance being an appropriation ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately from and after its passage and approval by the county judge.
I move for adoption.
Second.
Is there discussion?
Judge, I hope that everyone reads this one very closely. If they notice, the very first paragraph says that this is actually going to be an employee of Great River Economic Development. And I don't know if this is something that they have come up with because we didn't approve the other. I wish Cliff were here, but I told him not to come because I thought we would have too many in the courtroom. But they're asking for an internship coordinator. I don't know what to tell
Any
y'all.
questions for Justice Nelson?
Sir?
I ask if any further questions for Justice Nelson?
I did think, I thought he said in the meeting that it was going to be an employee of A&C.
He did, but this doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Says A&C will pay a portion of the salary.
But in the meeting, he said that it would be an
Right.
employee of A&C, isn't that correct?
That's correct. The city would work under Mr.
Cliff
Bennett.
sent you this in writing, how to word this?
No.
He told me
Well,
he
yes,
had
he
said,
did too. Cliff sent it to me how he wanted it worded, emailed it to me.
And I think you specifically asked if this was a
I
Plan
did.
B, and he said no.
They said he would be an employee of ANC, working under Mr. Bennett.
That's correct. I remember that as well.
that's what I thought.
So, I wish he was here to explain it, because
Well,
I don't think I'm gonna vote for it.
I'm not sure I am either. But I wasn't sure that I had misunderstood, but since y'all had said what you said, I didn't misunderstand. It was going to be for the college, but notice he said $35,000 is going to come from the college.
What was the total salary, Justice Nelson?
It's going to start at 45.
Yeah, he said 40 to 45 or something
Plus
like that.
benefits, and they dumped it in at about 60. And I did ask if this was
is
a
with the
plan.
benefits done.
I did ask if this was a Plan B to the project that we turned down, and I was told no.
Yeah.
But he did make it quite clear that he would be an employee of ANC. He or she, whoever it is. I move that we table this until, well, we have a motion. I don't know if I can do that now. Till it's clarified.
Judge, do we have any other business? I could make a phone call real quick, or what do you wish that we do?
I think that'd be appropriate. If you want to go ahead and make that phone call, then we can take a short recess. In fact, explain maybe what's gonna take place after we make
Okay,
this up.
I'll be right back in.
I think everybody, received this settlement agreement in their package. I'll go ahead and just kind of give some of you may be familiar with it, and, some of you may not, but, the Bryan versus Mississippi County, multiple party suit is winding down. Friday, February 28th, 2020, mediation, procedures took place at federal court, let's say I've got in Jonesboro, that, actually took place in Little Rock. You've got my notes there on that. And after nearly 5 hours of negotiation, we reached a partial agreement that will close the county's efforts in intersection and avoid jury trial in this matter. I said, I don't know how many of you are informed on this already, but the original dollar amount in the suit was $128,000. And prior to mediation, we offered $121,000. Or, no, excuse me, the plaintiff offered $121,000, and we offered $710,000. So that was the instructions that the, Jeremy, was he called a magistrate or a mediator?
As a federal magistrate, they act as mediators sometimes for the district judges.
So that was his instructions, is for us to make an offer and for the plaintiff to make an offer. And, so they did so at, from 128 down to 121, and we went up from 0 to 10. So, we'll expound on that a little bit further. Justice Nelson, did you get in contact with Mr. Chitwood?
Didn't answer.
Didn't answer. Justice Nelson, we've already got a move and a second. Would you,
He didn't answer.
is there any further discussion?
If we don't pass this, we can bring it up again at a
Sure.
later court.
Yes, absolutely. With no further discussion, Ms. Curry, would you call the roll, please?
Justice Ash,
No,
Justice Byrd,
No.
Justice Clay,
No.
Justice Hinton,
No.
Justice Hepler,
No.
Justice Jackson,
No.
Justice Nelson,
No.
Justice Norval,
No.
Justice White.
No.
All right, we'll, like I said, we'll move on to the next order of business. There was a multiple party, suit, against Mississippi County that we've been dealing with for quite some time. The original dollar amount was $128,000 that, the plaintiffs were asking in damages. Our magistrate had asked us to come to the table to, find a suitable, or to agree on suitable damages. We offered $10,000 and the plaintiff came down from 128 to 121. That led into us being separated in 2 separate rooms. And so, once the mediation began, the plaintiff came down further to 115,900. County went up from 10,000 to 15,000. On the second try, the plaintiff offered 95,000 with the stipulation that $44,000 would be divided amongst the 12 members of the class action suit, and the remaining 51,000 for the attorneys. Our counter was 35,000 with 22,500 to members and 12,500 to attorneys. On the third and final try, plaintiff offered 83 with 38,000 to members and 45 to attorneys. And at this point, our counter was 30,000 to members, and the attorney fees would then be negotiated between the attorneys and magistrate for a period not to exceed 2 weeks. And if no agreement could be made in the attorney's portion, then the matter would go before federal judge Marshall, where it would be decided upon them. And I am preparing an appropriation ordinance for the members' portion of the settlement at this time. But what we have here today before us is an agreement. What this will allow us to do is move forward. It says that the county is agreeing to to pay this $30,000, and this is how it's set forward, and that the plaintiffs sign off on the agreement, and then we will move later on to finish it up. Jeremy, is the 2 weeks over?
Yes,
Is it going to federal court?
it's gonna have to.
All right, so that will go before Judge Marshall, and he is in Jonesboro, is that correct?
He's in his office in Jonesboro, and
So, what they'll do is I'm sure this COVID has got them, delayed, so what they'll do is, everyone will go back to court, we'll get a court date, and, the judge then will ask questions and, intercede, and before that is over, then he'll come up with an amount, that's the way I understand it.
yeah,
But right now, what we're asking for is an agreement to move past where we are. If the court is agreeing to this, and what we'd like to do is to vote on this today, then we'll be out of going to jury trial, and a portion, like I said, $30,000 that is where we are right now. We have no way of knowing really what the attorney's part's going to be. Mr. Thomas, would you comment further on that, and the process?
yeah, we settled for the $30,000. Of course, they originally were asking for, it was $64,000, but if they proved that it was intentional somehow or deliberate, then the damages automatically double, so that's where they came up with their $128,000. I don't think they had any chance of proving it was deliberate because nobody ever complained to us that they were not being paid overtime. In mediation, we got it down, to that more like the $64,000 range pretty quick. We actually did that before we went in. But once we started negotiating, it became obvious to me that the attorney's fees were going to be the problem, that we could probably settle the claimant's portion and maybe have to just argue about the attorney's fees in court. That won't be in front of the jury. It won't be a long, drawn-out process where we have to go through trial preparation and prepare for witnesses and all that kind of thing. It's more like probably a 30-minute long hearing in front of the judge. If he has a hearing, he doesn't have to. He can just look at their motion and look at our response and rule. It's up to the judge whether he wants us to actually show up and talk or not. So that's where it stands. We're just in front of the judge on the attorney's fee issue, and if you guys approve it, the portion to the claimants themselves has been settled at the $30,000 fee.
And I think the county is out somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000 in total attorney fees. So
about right.
my opinion is that should be enough for the other side, that we'll let that judge decide. So the matter before us today is whether to pass off on this $30,000 dollar amount to the members. Has anyone got any questions or discussion about it, comments?
Judge, I move that we authorize the county judge and the county attorney to move forward with this settlement agreement to the amount of $30,000 on the plaintiff.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other further comment? Ms. Curry, would you call the roll, please?
Justice Ash,
Yes.
Justice Byrd,
Yes.
Justice Clay,
Yes.
Justice Hinton,
Yes.
Justice Hooker,
Yes.
Justice Jackson,
Yes.
Justice Nelson,
Yes,
Justice Norwell,
Yes.
Justice White.
Yes.
We'll go ahead and take care of this portion of the settlement, and then I'll keep you informed on what happens in federal court as we move forward. We'll move on to the whole business, and if not, we'll move to announcements. There's been several things that has happened related to the COVID-19 issue. I had been in touch with a contractor about putting up some plexiglass around some of the offices' desks. And that was in response to them asking for that, and then that has moved into perhaps a different vehicle to protect them against coming in contact with the virus, and that further moved into, they think they're just going to close that office down. This was the assessor's office, so I gave them my blessings on closing that down if they wanted to. I certainly understand. I don't think that's too far out of line with the governor and the Arkansas Department of Health is suggesting. They're still going to be at work, and they'll still be there. They'll still be in both courthouses. But we are urging the people that need to come to the courthouses to do business to call first, and if there's another way to get their work completed without actually having to come person to person, and I mean either over the internet or over fax machine or over email, and a lot of those things can be done that way. I think it's working out fairly well right now, considering this is all new ground for us. I've been speaking with the other departments as well and urging them to do the same thing. We're not locking the courthouse doors, so you are able to get in. We're just trying to slow the foot traffic down. And relating to that, I received a phone call from the Arkansas Department of Health this morning, and Mississippi County now has the first confirmed case of the novel COVID-19 coronavirus. So that patient has been asked to be quarantined at home, and they're being monitored, the way I understand, by the Department of Health. We're asking everyone in the county to try to do their part and go along with the governor's suggestions as well as the Arkansas Department of Health. I think if we do that, then we can slow this virus down and keep it from escalating until we can get it under control. So I think we're doing a good job of getting it done by example today as we are spread out. And without keeping us here any longer, I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas.
It's what I talked to you about yesterday, if y'all mind just 1 second. I got a call just over the last few days. I spoke with him in more detail yesterday. It's an attorney in Little Rock named Tim Grooms. He is working on for Atlas Tube. I'm still not sure of the details, and I don't know if he knows exactly what's going on, but they are apparently going to, well, in 2005, the county actually backed a bond issue for Atlas Tube for construction, I assume. And that is 15 years old now. It's a 30-year-old agreement, or a 30-year agreement, excuse me. And Atlas apparently is now going to the city of Blythe for a new bond issue. They are going to, what I've been told is that they have paid all of their bond payments to the county. I don't know if we've been able to affirm that yet, but what the attorney asked me to do for the time being is see if you guys would approve the county judge signing a quitclaim deed. This would be a deed from the county, because the county owns the property and is leasing it back to Atlas right now. This would be a deed from the county back to Atlas, which they would then immediately deed to the city of Blythe for Blythe to lease it back to them for their new bond issue. I told him I would, present this to you guys and, see if you would approve. The county judge signed it and let me hold on to it without recording it until we can see exactly, if they have paid and if everything has been satisfied. I talked to Shep Russell yesterday. He's an attorney in Little Rock, and he was the attorney that handled the original bond issue for the county. From him, I gather that what we would need before we record this is a release. There are 2 mortgages on the property right now. There's a primary mortgage and a second. And if we get releases of those mortgages, then it will be safe to go ahead and record this. And so I told him that I would bring it in here and see if you guys would approve the county judge signing it. Let me hold on to it until what I gather will be them filing those 2 mortgage releases.
My question would be, are they involved in a pilot program?
They would be using Blyville to do, they are currently with the county. They would be using the city of Blyville.
So a pilot is payment in lieu of taxes.
Right.
Are they involved with that with us, the county?
Yes, right now, as of right now, yes, there's
Have they
a,
met their obligation?
that's what we're trying to find out. Whether they have told me that they made all their payments, I've not been able to confirm that yet.
Cliff wasn't sure of all the details, and so that's when we got in touch with Shep Russell, which did the original paperwork.
All you have to do is ask Cliff.
Well,
I
I
did-
did ask Cliff. Cliff wasn't sure on the
Yeah,
details.
I talked to him yesterday too, and he wasn't sure.
So, he directed us to Shep Russell, and we've been in contact with him. We're just making sure the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed.
But what I'm asking today is that the Quorum Court will just approve the county judge to sign this. Let me hold on to it once we make sure that all payments have been made and that those mortgages have been released, as Shep Russell advised, that we can go ahead and record it at that time.
Is did you say the property at this point belongs to the county?
Yes, the way the Act 9 bonds work is the government entity owns it, which makes it tax exempt. And in agreement of doing that, then the company makes those payments of at least 35% of what the taxes would be.
So we're getting 35% under the current pilot agreement. If it changes over to the city, how will those?
I don't think that the county's not getting the 35%. The 35%, at least the last time I looked at it, has to be divided the same way the taxes would be divided.
Okay, you're right.
And so
You are right.
the county's not getting that entire 35%. And so if it's 35% again, the county's gonna get the same percentage that it's getting now.
Schools get their portion and then the
Right, the school's gonna
respective
get I think
districts
they
get
get
theirs.
70-something%.
You're correct.
Before, recent legislation, it was really zero, and
Right.
then you negotiated for whatever you wanted to, and then the state of Arkansas made it where it had, it's a mandatory 35, so really, what we used to call Act 9s, or what we used to think of Act 9s or pilot agreements, are really no longer a vehicle anymore, since the state legislature has required the 35%, so anyways, we're just in kind of a different ballgame now.
It won't affect the county revenue is where I was going.
It should not if, as long as the amount, it's the amount of the bonds. I mean, if that goes up, then the county's money will go up. If that goes down, then the county's money will go down, but the percentage won't change.
Well, 15 years ago, we didn't even have a limit. They could negotiate it down to nothing. So are they even paying 35%?
They had to, I believe that changed.
That changed about 5 years ago.
It was,
Yeah, that's right.
I worked on the one where Dale did theirs, and they did theirs, I want to say in the late 90s, and there was no 35%. But I believe by the time it was
It
When I
changed
was
right
there,
up
it was
5 years ago because
2004 or so, when all that was going on,
Right.
it had gone up to the 35% by then. So,
I guess my question is, why are they changing from the county being the lead on this to the city of Blyville?
that I don't know. And
That's one of the questions that's holding us up, that's why that we're going to further investigate it before we act on it.
the attorney that called me yesterday didn't have all the information, and so I haven't been able to gather everything yet.
Before the legal change, the cities, they always went to the cities and the cities could write in extraneous fees.
Right.
Be nice. And that got kind of taken away with the new legislation you're talking about, Judge? And that
No, we still have
35%.
fees.
And there's really no advantage anymore to the city to doing it. So I don't know what the deal
No,
is.
you can have fees now, I mean, you still can have fees.
There's a certain amount of like administrative fees or.
Yeah, but I think there's limits on them compared to what there used to be.
Jeremy, there appears to be something that I don't understand. Well, there is something I don't understand. Why are they leaving the county, as Justice Byrd said, and going to the city when it should not be any different to them than it is now?
I agree, I don't know, and the attorney that I spoke with yesterday didn't know.
Don't you think we need to know that?
Before we record this meeting, we certainly do, absolutely. And it doesn't matter to me if you signed or not, I just told him as a courtesy to him that I would present this to the court and see if the judge could sign it and let me hold on to it until we figure everything out. That's up to you guys.
I'd much rather have the information up front before we authorize it myself, but I don't speak for the entire court, so.
Seems like we could sign it at any time.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is this a timely matter?
Apparently it is to them. That's because he was really pushing me to try to bring this in here today.
Well, if it was a timely matter to him, he should have had more information.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm kind of with Justice Asher. I'd like to have the information before I vote.
These people deal in an unorthodox way. They do everything different to what all other industries do. I don't know why, but they do, because I've had some other dealings with them. And so I'd like to have some more information. No reflection on the judge or you,
Sure.
but I think the county needs more information.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know myself. I told him that I would bring it in here and see what you guys had to say. So.
They wait till the last minute on everything and then expect everybody to accept it at face value. That's how they operate.
All right. That's all I got.
Well, I mean, we're just wrapping up the Quorum Court meeting, so I just stepped off. So I'll call you back. That was Cliff, so that's the reason I stepped off for just a moment. And his mother has been ill, and she took another turn today, so that's one reason he wasn't available to talk to some of those. I did describe what we had discussed, and I think he is in agreement there was some miscommunication or writing on this, and I asked him if we wanted to draw a line to it. Let's vote on it. He said they wasn't in a hurry, that nobody in mind anyway, and with this COVID going around, he doesn't think anything's gonna move very quickly, so he'll revisit that with you again. I'm sorry, then back to this issue, are we, does everyone understand whoops?
Judge, the consensus was the court, you stepped out, I'm not speaking for the court, but it seemed to be the consensus was there's some unanswered questions.
Yes.
And so forth. I think the court would like more information. No reflection on you or Mr.
Sure.
Thomas. But I think this company sort of operates in an unorthodox way. And I think the court would like more information.
All right, well, we'll put it on the back burner then, and Mr. Thomas will investigate further, and we'll get back to it. Any other business? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn?
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done.